We are live. Look at this.
Yeah, you need to fix the camera.
Let's see. Oh, Lucy, Teapot. Glad you guys could make it.
Hey guys.
We had escaped goats that I had to go take care of right quick.
Yes, we did.
So we're a little discombobulated right now.
Not much we could do about that. I can't help today, so it took a little bit longer for G than usual.
Well, and they're small goats, and small goats are so much harder to deal with because they find every single hole to crawl through, and out they go.
That's no joke.
But well, I hope everybody had a good week. Teapot's getting a lot of rain apparently.
Oh my goodness! Well, share some of that with us. We'll take some of that.
Yeah,
rain.
we haven't had any.
We haven't had substantial rain in a little bit, and they're talking it's going to be 7 days at least dry weather. So I think maybe we'll get some showers Saturday night, but not a lot. So anyway,
Lucy, slow mode. I put a 10-second delay on it.
We don't have enough people
on the chat.
to even worry about that.
Well, but we have a hard time keeping up.
You have a hard time keeping up. I read the comments.
Anyway, so we'll hang out. How was your week, guys? Let's wait and see if anybody else pops in. See who we got going. If we got anybody else in here. Nope. It's just us four. The only four that matter, right?
No. Just go ahead and go. Everybody knows that they need to get started, and the people that are here is what we're here
on with the update.
Yeah, you can't be so loud. You got to come down a little bit.
On with the update. Somebody's not feeling well. That's part of the update. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow. Yeah, we don't want 7 inches. Hey Pat.
So the big news this week is somebody is getting over a unknown illness.
I don't know what it was. I'm assuming it's the stomach flu. But hey Spags. Yeah, I just kind of wore myself out, I think. So I had all that zucchini to process, and then I had all of that relish to process. I got all of that done. Wasn't even finished processing the relish. I was getting ready to put it all into jars, and I got a phone call. And so then I was like, man, I said, well, how long have those peaches been up in the tree?
Well, what was the phone call about?
It was about getting peaches. So somebody needed help. Her stove wasn't coming up to temperature. And then she tried the outside grill to see if she could get that to come to temperature. It wasn't working. After 16 quarts and that kind of thing happening, she was just done. So I was thinking I was just going to Hiawatha, and I was not. I ended up picking up Mrs. Hacks and then running up to Falls City, Nebraska. So by the time we got up to Falls City, Nebraska, I was under the assumption that these peaches were already picked and in bushels. So we were just picking up bushels. Hey, RN. And hey, Starla, glad you made it. Saw that you missed it last week. I apologize for that. So get up to Falls City, and then I look up, and where it was 6:30 in the evening when we got there. And when I saw everything up in that tree, I looked at Mrs. Hacks and I said, where was the lack of communication here? Because you told me that they were all in bushels. So, of course, Corky starts laughing, and Patty's like, I thought they were. And so Corky looks at Patty and says, well, that's because you girls don't communicate. And after spending time with Mabel and Patty, I understand. I get it. Hey, Charles. Hey, Cindy. And so then
Corky's a character in himself. He is.
Oh my gosh.
He's an old school farmer.
No, he farms, but he was also in the military. And so he's still got that Marine Corps.
He's a Marine?
I assume he is, because he acts like you, and I could totally see you when you were at that age. So I'm assuming either that or he was a drill instructor. So no holds barred, but he's hilarious. And so by the time we got out of there, I don't even know what time it was. Oh yeah, it was probably 8:30 by the time we got out of there. Then to make matters worse, as I'm rolling out of there, the cats wouldn't get out of the driveway, and I ran over a cat.
You didn't say anything about that.
Because it makes me want to cry. So I get sensitive when I'm sick. So
it's the first I've heard of that, folks.
So I killed a cat. And so I felt horrible about that. And then got home. got just over the Nebraska border, and oh my gosh, the truck lights started going out. The dashboard was like, woo, 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 woo. There was all kinds of stuff going on. And I was like, what in the world? And I didn't get any oomph going up. And I just started praying. And I was like, oh, Jesus, take the wheel. We can make it. Let's do this. Come on, come on. You got this. You got this. And finally, I was like, Patty, you need to call Darren and so figure out what's going on here. So it was, you know what? We're going to be in Hiawatha. Let's call O'Reilly's, make sure they're still open. So she called Daniel, who's working. So then she called O'Reilly's. It's good to know people, guys, and it's good to have a community because they had been closed by the time I got there. And so he ran is it diagnostics or whatever it is on the truck. My alternator was going out. And so the battery wasn't charging and it was just a hot mess. So then I was like, okay, well, what do I need? And so got the alternator that we needed. And Darren knew to meet us because when we got to his house, he was going to have to change out that alternator because there was no way I was going to make it home. And so I didn't get home until 1:00 in the morning. But thank you to Darren and Patty and Daniel, and I cannot remember the kid's name at O'Reilly, but thank goodness for them. We got it all fixed, and I got home. So then when I got home, and the 3 5-gallon buckets of peaches that were in the back of my truck, I look over at my stove. Well, naturally, what does Yoda do? She punishes herself. So I go directly to the stove to finish those up so that I don't let anybody down on the peaches side, because those peaches, the longer they sit on top of each other, they'll go bad pretty fast. So I didn't want that to happen. So I finished those cucumbers. And guys, this is all part of homesteading, right? It just is what it is. And so I get those finished, and it was probably 4:00, almost 4:30 in the morning. And so I'm exhausted, and I can feel the exhaustion, but it was a little bit more than that. But I was thinking I just wore myself out. And so as I was walking through, Freya's decided that the cow hides that I use for rugs are good toys. So she had all of those curled up and ready to go. Well, I was so tired. I had all the lights off because I was getting ready to go to bed. I face planted. And so, and I'm not kidding, I had scrapes here and scrapes up here and a big swollen black eye. Mrs. Hack saw it because she's like, what the heck did you do? They were over Friday helping us on another project G'll share with you. And so I tell her what's happening. Now, he's standing right there. And so he didn't say anything. And so we're going through our day and getting all of that. And I'm like, man, Patty, I'm just so tired and I'm exhausted and my eyes feel heavy. And she's like, girl, you're doing too much. And I was like, well, I got to get all this stuff going. And so Saturday I slept. I probably didn't get up until 3:00 in the afternoon.
Right.
And so we were thinking, well, I'm just exhausted and had a lot going on. And hey, Arthur, had a lot going on. And so Karen's like, I really need you to run to Topeka. And so I was like, oh gosh, really? I got so much I got to get done here. I just wasn't feeling it. And usually for me to run to a large town, I'm like score, because I can get in a few other things. And I just didn't have it in me. And I went, got everything. Had an ordeal there. That was more customer service related more than anything else.
Which is really kind of funny considering that Billy Bond over at Permapastures just had a thing on his live cast last week about 2 weeks ago, about his incident in the Lowe's in Asheville.
Yeah.
So
I was pretty ticked off, but we don't need to go over that. And so let's just say it's the conversation ended with store manager and with the general manager, and I did get my way. So only because they knew that they screwed up. And so then by the time I got home, I was exhausted again. And so it's like I just need to rest for a little bit. But Sunday I got up and I was like, okay, I've got this and this, and I made a list, everything that I needed to get in town. And then I knew I needed to stop at a friend of the community's, and I needed to dig up some comfrey. And so I had my list and got all of that stuff done. And my stomach wasn't feeling well. And I thought, man, I need to eat something. And like an idiot, when I was at Walmart, I picked up one of those chicken salad sandwiches.
Oh my God. You didn't tell me that either.
I don't think that's why I got sick. But so I've eaten that and getting that going. I'm like, man, this is bad. And then so I went over, took everything I had. Usually I can get a shovel in the ground pretty good. And I was just struggling getting that shovel in. But I got comfrey out. And, Amber was definitely super sweet. She's like, you know more. And I'm like, let me start with this. And the reality of it is I couldn't do anymore. And so I got home and I went out to go trim roots and trim foliage off to get everything in the ground. I got some tinctures, things that I'm going over that I'm making here that we'll get up on our website. And so I getting all of this stuff done here. And I finally looked at Garen. I was getting ready to put everything in the ground, but I was like, I got to go in and I need to sit down for a minute. So I came in and I sat down. And as I was sitting down, I could feel the burning in my eyes and I could feel my stomach. And you got that gurgly, what do you call it?
Bubble gut. She got bubble gut.
I got bubble gut. And I'm hearing my body talk to me. And all of a sudden I get that, when you get a fever and you get that, I don't know if anybody else does, but I get a taste in my mouth and I can start smelling my sickness. And I'm like, oh, geez, you're kidding me. Like, not now. This cannot be happening now. And so I went into the bathroom, got the thermometer, my temperature. It was 101. So I went to Garen and I looked at him through the door and I said, I'm sick. And
so she was down for the last 48 hours.
Well, no. So, yeah, no, cranky. I screwed myself.
She was cranky.
So not only do I punish myself a couple times, but I go to bed. Freya came with me. So Freya was on top of me because I got the chills, from the fever. But he said, take some Advil. So I took some Advil. So of course, after an hour, my fever broke and I was like, oh, I'm good again. I'm good again. I had to get the comfrey roots in the ground. He was working on another project. So there was no taking him away and saying, can you go plant that? Trust me, there were a few times I asked for things and he didn't have time to do any of it.
I was on mission.
So I was like, okay, what do I do?
Tell him how sweet Freya was when you were laying on the couch. Freya was taking care of Mama. What was she doing?
So remember we had those yellow cucumbers that nobody can eat? And so I left those in a crate. So G cuts them and feeds them to the chickens every once in a while. And so it's one of the only foods that Freya can reach. Well, I couldn't eat. I've been that sick. And so there was no eating. And it was just literally my body was just trying to clean everything out both ways to make sure that I was getting better. So as I'm laying down, no matter if I was on the bed or laying on the couch, because I'll alternate with G since he's got to go to work and he's working on the deck and all of that stuff. I'll alternate with G so that I don't get him sick. I'll let him at night sleep in the bed and then I'll just sleep on the couch. It doesn't bother me that much unless the dogs want to take care of me. And so Freya will go get the cucumbers because she thinks I need to eat. And I kept finding cucumbers in my bed. No matter where I slept, there were cucumbers. And I don't know why she expected me to eat those cucumbers. So anyway, I am a little bit better today. I ate some of my flu buster soup. Thanks to Patty and Darren. I've had that on my shelf now for 3 years?
3 years we've been using it.
And so I was like, okay, I need to start there before I move over to the iron soup. So I started there. I could immediately feel it working yesterday. And then I had another bowl today. And I was actually surprised. I got up at 9:30 today. And then I only ended up having to take a 1 hour nap. I did have to go slow with chores. So chores were in half-hour increments and then rest, and because I'm still a little dizzy and off and my head is pounding.
And I told her she didn't have to come and do this tonight.
Yeah.
But she insisted. She wanted to be here so she could
I even took a shower to get my sickness off me.
Starla wants to know what flu buster and iron soup is.
Oh, Starla, if you go back to one of my earlier videos, or did that one?
We never did that.
He says I didn't do one, but I sure thought I did. Send me an email. Starla hasn't sent an email, has she? Okay, Starla, send me an email and I'll send that recipe over to you.
So what the flu buster soup is just it's natural ingredients that will help you
high
overcome.
iron, just really great stuff. The iron soup has a little more oomph to it.
Peppers,
So,
the capsaicin in the peppers helps,
yeah,
and turmeric, and what else?
yeah. Oh gosh, I can go get it. We can read it. See the black binder. It's right in my black binder.
So there's that, and then the iron soup. The iron soup is just high in all kinds of different vitamins and veggies with iron in it, and it's really more of a preventative thing than a get well thing.
But it's a great get well thing.
Yeah, and this isn't medical advice, but these soups.
Yeah, we're no doctors.
These soups do work. I mean, there's a lot of wisdom in the old methods and recipes and stuff, and so we stand by them. We use them all the time. In fact, I've completely quit using Theraflu unless I'm just deathly ill. And Theraflu used to be my go-to thing.
Yeah, not anymore. In fact, when I started eating the soup, I didn't realize that I was congested because I have allergies, regular allergies. So I didn't realize that I had chest congestion and some sinus things going on and all of that until I got into the soup, and it was like, holy cow. So when you get into the soup, if you don't really know what's going on with you, make sure you got a box of Kleenex and all that stuff next to you because it works like a charm. So when I was on your video chat last Tuesday, I ended up having a dizzy spell. So son called an ambulance 6 hours after they told me I had
with vertigo.
Oh geez. Oh,
man.
I don't want vertigo. I hope that's not it. But Lucy, man, you've just got.
But she
bless your heart.
She went gangbusters last week because you did several gallons of zucchini relish, several gallons of sweet relish.
No, I didn't do sweet relish. Don't be. I wanted all dill.
Oh, dill relish. I'm sorry, dill relish. Mm-hmm. And you did.
And I didn't do the cheaters. She had asked me even if I wanted the, what's that called? The one that's already done up. I don't know. You buy it at the store and it's in the canning section and it's the dill pickle.
Oh, Mrs. Wages.
The Mrs. Wages. And I said, no, yuck, who wants that? And so, no, this is tried and true dill relish.
Starla, the wine is doing well. It's a month into the process. Actually, it's 6 weeks into the process, and there's not a lot of action on it right now, and there won't be, but it's still fermenting. You can still see bubbles rising every now and then.
Yeah, teapot. I totally agree. School started back up, and it's just yucky central out there. Snotty noses, and they're all kissing and drinking out of the same water fountain. I remember what it is to be back in school, so we won't all be well again until late May, early June. And I'm sorry about the pancreatitis attack. Gosh, second since June. Oof. Is that going to mean surgery pretty soon, maybe? I don't know.
Well, RN says make a post of the iron soup.
The recipes and
make a community post.
I'll do that, and then maybe I'll even eat some while I'm doing it, and you guys can see what happens because you'll break out in a sweat, and it will.
I'm not gonna film you breaking out in a sweat and eating soup.
I was offering to be sick ugly for a minute. But
she did that, and she did all those peaches, and I don't know what it was, but those peaches were just so much sweeter than the ones we got. I think they were a little bit riper.
They were riper.
Riper.
The tree is a little bit different too.
And it was an older tree.
It's also Nebraska versus where we are, so that makes a difference. Just like Colorado peaches are different from ours.
And she did Drunken Peaches. So why don't you explain what Drunken Peaches are?
You just go ahead and process your peaches and then throw in, depending on what you want, 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of bourbon. And so when you throw that in with the bourbon, then you just put the lid on it and then process everything. You don't have to worry about the liquor staying in there. It's not going to stay in there. And because the heat's going to take that out. But you can make, when it's done, you can make a bourbon peach pie and that kind of thing, and it tastes really, really good. The bourbon, the alcohol also helps preserve. So your sugar is a preservative, but also the bourbon, the liquor is a preservative as well. So it works out really well and combines very good. Do something with that one too.
She doesn't want to go outside. She wants to be part of the live cast. So. She's fine. Then it was because she also did regular peaches in a light syrup, and she had one jar that did not seal, and she stuck it in the refrigerator. And I did about 3 days later.
Yeah,
I had it, and it was fermenting a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, that one didn't have bourbon in it. Starla. So yeah, that would be great for a liquid diet. You just want to make sure that you mince everything down. So I've got mine a little chunky, but you'll just go ahead and make sure that when you get it all finished, that you go ahead and you mince it really, really well. And then that way you don't have any chunks or anything like that going through your body. You'll want to puree, like a finer puree, and then that will get it to where you can do it for a liquid diet. So, now, I'm not a doctor, so if you have any hesitation, contact your doctor and ask him about it. And if he wants the recipe for the soup, then I'll share it with you. You can let him know what's in it, and then you all decide from there. Use your judgment.
But she was on a big time food preservation kick. We got the freeze dryer fired up, and you did.
T-Paw needs prayers for the VA.
Yep, for
it's no joke.
Yep. Anytime you deal with the VA, you need prayers. Mm-hmm. But she was freeze drying. What did we freeze dry this week?
It was all candy.
We were freeze drying candy. We're getting ready to go. We're going to be at the Back to the Land Festival.
I know we told you last week we weren't going to, and other people have changed our minds.
So we rethought it, and we're going to be able to swing it financially. But we're
going to have our vendor tent up too, so hopefully that will help take care of anything.
So we're going to be doing freeze dried foods and maybe a couple other things, and then we're going to share it with Hacks for the Homestead. They were talking about maybe bringing some stuff. So
if they are, I need to know what it is because I didn't clear it with anybody.
So that's exciting. So she was getting stuff ready for getting to these festival circuits.
Problem is now that I'm sick, I don't really want to be cooking or doing anything, making other people sick. So we may just have to go with what we've got.
And we've got a lot.
We've got a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, Lucy. We're hearing a lot of people saying their tomatoes are just now turning. Ours have been red for over a month now.
Yeah, quite a while. No longer than that. I've been pulling tomatoes even before B. So yeah, Lucy, you might look. No, we planted late.
Did we?
I planted late. I didn't think we would have red tomatoes until about now. Lucy, you might look at your soil and kind of see what's going on there. Check and see what the calcium is. So have you? Well, they're just now turning red. Do you have any blossom rot on there? So look and see if you have any blossom rot on there, and there's a way to fix that. You may just need to put more calcium in the soil.
B over at Life Done Free did a video this week about that very subject.
Did they talk about the calcium?
Yep, she actually talked about it, and it was very interesting.
Yeah, so she might be able to walk you through that. And if you have any questions, there's several different ways to do it, from powdered milk to, would you say, baking soda?
Powdered milk is the way to go right now.
Yeah. So
that's what the PhD person in tomatoes said. So we're gonna go with what no
blossom rot. Well, that's good. That's good. Well, maybe doing it later was beneficial. Watch with all that. Who had all the rain? T-Paw had all the rain. Right. So Lucy, watch your tomatoes. Anything that is starting to get red, orangey, that kind of thing, right before it rain, you want to get them in.
Let them ripen on the counter because you run the risk of them splitting open.
Uh-huh.
Gee, you know what? We went through everything you did, and I'm going to talk about what I did, and it's going to sound like a really small accomplishment.
It was a big accomplishment. So you couldn't even take the time to do dishes.
Basically,
and that wasn't being nasty. I mean, he really had a big job. So, but that's what I was saying. At 30-minute increments, I got stuff done. You missed what I said, didn't you?
I heard you. But my big accomplishment this week, I did the everyday chores around here, which takes about an hour and a half in the evening, just rounding everybody up and making sure everybody's healthy. But I started Friday. I had half a day at work on Friday, and I tore the front porch off and rebuilt a new one. And I'm still not done. I've got to put tar paper down and put the tin on. Then I got to do the railings, power wash it, and seal it, and we're done. But I'll do a video this week, and I'll show you the difference of what it looked like before and what it looks like now. And I apologize. I was doing it by myself. Well, I take that back. Darren and Patty came down. Patty was helping with the canning process, and I needed help.
Patty was talking to me during the canning process, but that is helping. I was on board.
But Darren helped me put in a square frame. which if you got one person, you can do it with the 3-4-5 method, where you measure one side 3 feet, the other side 4 feet, and that cross on the triangle should be 5 feet, and you got a perfect 90-degree square. But this one was so big, I needed an extra set of hands, and we squared it up by measuring corner to corner and just equaling up those. But I was pretty happy with it. When I got done, I was only half an inch out of square and about a 1/4 inch out of plumb on one post, which I've got to go in and fix because it's just enough that it bothers my undiagnosed OCD. So I've got to go fix it. But now we've got basically an outside room.
Yeah, but you got to fix that bottom stair because Patty could still sue us if she falls and breaks a hip. So
she's not on here to tease.
So Starla, no, we have never tried growing potatoes from actual seed before. In fact, we've got a nasty habit out here in the Midwest. You guys might have because your grandfather farmed potatoes, but so I don't know, but
no, he always did it from seed potatoes.
Did he? Okay, so he grew potatoes for Lay's, but from actual seeds. See, they got a nasty habit out here in the Midwest. They tell you every time the potato starts flowering to cut it off because you want everything to go, the growth to go into the potatoes and not the energy into the flower. Well, the only way you're going to get the actual seed for the potatoes is from the flower. And so, no, we've never tried it.
No, and as long as we got seed potatoes, it's kind of
got a potato shortage going on this year, so
yeah, this is true.
Let's see what happens.
And we're always the ones that say try out these new skills. But yeah, so that was basically that's the homestead update this week. The turkeys, and the new egg chicks graduated to the temporary coop with the rest of the animals, and then just this morning, I took them out of the little pen that I had them in, so they've got free reign inside the coop. In fact,
you have a pumpkin plant growing in a tree. It looks so funny. Okay, so those are the seeds that you want to save from those pumpkins because that's a volunteer.
Yeah.
I know you didn't grow that pumpkin on a tree, so make sure you save those seeds. And did that last year. Wow. Starla got the seeds from Botanical Interests for my seed ball.
The company.
Okay, I'll have to look at that. I haven't heard of them before.
I haven't either.
Huh. Interesting.
It's always good to have those extra seeds.
Yeah. He's so used to talking loud. It's just Marine Corps. And when you know how it is, when your head's throb and you just can't take
whiny.
it. I'm going to go back to bed.
As soon as we're done here. If you want to go right now, you can.
It's all right.
I told you didn't have to sit in on
Just
this.
don't yell in my ear.
So that's the update. I can't think of anything else. Can you?
No, I think that's about it. I know you had a couple things you wanted to talk about, and I'm cringing at the fact that you want to talk about them. But I can see by the people that are in here, we're fine. It's just going to be aftermarket comments that we.
Well, no, I want to talk about heritage canning. So as you know, we have replaced rebel canning with heritage canning because I can't see how it can be rebellious if you're just doing it the way it used to be done, right? And it's something that we feel everybody needs to learn how to do. It's one of those things that it's a skill that you need to learn, and there's a lot of pushback on it right now. In fact, the young lady that does Make It Make was talking about how she got all kinds of pushback and all kinds of
death threats,
hate mail, and all kinds of stuff because that's what she was teaching. She was teaching the heritage canning, which is canning everything in a water bath and not using a pressure canner. And
hey, Deb.
And people, for some reason, if it's not in the ball jar cookbook, they don't like it.
Yeah.
You know. And here's my comment on it.
And here's the thing too. So this young lady, she's a fantastic young lady, and she has really been. She's amazing, and even in her teaching, she's amazing. So the fact that anybody would give her death threats and talk negative about her makes me want to just scream. And she grew up with the Amish, and so the girl knows what she's talking about. So to think that anybody would say anything negative about her, just she has a lot to teach, and she could save a lot of lives. Let's just put it that way.
And go check out her channel, because she's got her videos are very informative and they're very well done.
She started to skip back a little bit. Now she's just doing recipes, and she has, because of how much lashback that she's gotten. So
But
you may have to go some of the older recipes.
Here's my thing about heritage canning. Yes, there are some legitimate safety concerns. That's why the USDA does not want you doing it. They don't want you water bathing those high pH foods. They don't want you water bathing meat because of the dangers of food poisoning. Mm-hmm. So there are legitimate concerns. All right. So don't think that we're dismissing that and saying everybody run out and do this.
Yeah, but Lucy, you actually you're Mennonite, if I remember correctly, right? So you've grown up around that. So basically, Lucy was saying she got a pressure cooker and she ended up trying to take it back because she couldn't use it for canning. And so she water baths instead, and including her potatoes. But again, she grew up that way.
Well, and it's like I said, it's a skill that you have to perfect. You have to do it. And you've had failures doing it, right?
Yeah. Look, I found out where that screw goes.
Oh, we found a screw on the floor. We weren't sure where it came from. Apparently, it came from this chair over here.
We know what chair nobody should sit in right now.
But so here's my question for anybody that is against heritage canning. What do you say to the person that can't afford a pressure cooker?
Ooh, author, that is really good to know. Somewhere on his computer, he says, I've got an old canning list from when everything was water bathed. We'll see if I can find it. I saw another list like that too. Man, where did I see that? I can't remember.
Arthur, if you can find that, go ahead and email it to us,
yes.
And we'll get it up as a community post.
Yes, that would be awesome.
But so what do you say to the person that can't afford it? Or I don't know if you remember, if you were looking for pressure canners back in 2019, 2020, you couldn't find them. We got extremely lucky. We found one.
On a waiting list. It's the only reason why I got $250 off of it is because I was willing to wait 6 months.
But you found that one up at Jamesport too, or was that before?
That was way before 2019.
But what do you if you don't want to do the heritage canning, what do you say to the person that can't find one?
Hey, Grateful Arts.
And hey, Grateful Arts. Here's the big question, and this is aimed directly at people that have pressure canners and say you shouldn't use them for use them and don't use the water bathing. What do you do if your pressure canner breaks, a gauge goes out like you were talking about, or you lose the seal, or it gets dropped and it won't hold pressure?
And on a pressure canner, you're in a dangerous market if you're 2 points either way. So, so you've got that going on. I'd much rather water bath and know where I'm at and what I'm dealing with than pressure canning and not knowing where my gauge is at. And the next thing you know, where I'm thinking I'm at 11, I'm really at 8 or 7. And then, boy, you really want to talk about making yourself sick. There you go.
Well, and pressure, didn't we do those potatoes in the pressure canner?
Yeah, yes,
so
we did.
We had about a year and a half before we moved. Mm-hmm. We pressure canned a bunch of potatoes, and when we were getting ready to move, we were clearing out the pantry and moving everything, and one of the jars broke, and it was the most god awful smell in the world.
Oof, it was nasty.
And so we started looking, and every single one of those jars of potatoes,
the lid
failed, and they all went bad, and that was surefire.
Right.
And I can't help but wonder if it was an offer or something happened that we didn't know about.
Well, I did not that particular canner. I think that canner I just quit using altogether because I didn't just have problems with those potatoes. It was with something else too. So that canner I just quit using. But when we get it, I think it's out in the storage building. So when we get it out of there, I'll take it up to the extension office and oh no, they can't do it because it's an All-American.
We can. I think it's the gauge.
I may just have to change the gauge.
So that's our thought on heritage canning. We advocate that you learn the skill and you practice it because that's the only way you're going to learn.
And for all those people that are out there that get nasty about people heritage canning, stop. Just stop it. It's America. And especially if you're watching our channel and these other channels, and you know that we're talking about freedom, and you're wanting to go over to the freesteading site and all of that, knock it off. Because we all are going to do our own thing, and we should all be allowed to do our own thing without being told how wrong we are.
Cindy, absolutely. I don't think pressure canning's been around for 1,000 years.
It is not.
But it's been around for a couple of hundred years.
Has it? Pressure canning?
Pressure canning, yeah, industrial age.
Huh.
But what they do before that, I know, they didn't use pressure canners.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got one of the burpee canning sealer, huh? Interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up. So Arthur says my neighbor gifted me a pressure canner that was his grandmother's. Had never seen one. Burpee canning sealer. I wonder, is it made by the Burpee Seed Company? Same company? That's interesting. See, RN, we're in the same boat. Everybody that we know that watches her just loves her content.
Yeah.
And she is, if you ever get a chance to meet her in person,
mm-hmm.
she's one of the nicest people out there. Seriously. She was genuinely nice. It wasn't an act.
Yeah, no, she's great people.
We got to meet her at the Homesteading Festival at Hannibal.
Yeah. Arthur, now I'm curious because Mabel said that Patty and I can go through her basement. She's got a bunch of canners because I was telling her that I will teach people canning, and if they can't afford canners, I have a lot of people give me pressure canners and things like that. And I hear a lot of people say, well, I can't afford a canner, and even water bath canners. I can't afford this. I don't know how to do this, and I don't know where to get started. Then I will literally, if we're out somewhere or whatever, I'll send G home. Hey, go grab a canner and then bring it. We did it at a camp. No, it wasn't camp out. It was at the community picnic at Tags.
No, it was the camp out.
No, it was at Tags. We met them at camp out. It was at Tags.
Okay.
But kind of there. And so I gave her, in fact, 2 pressure canners, and I said, here you go. I said, not sure if this one works. I know this one works. Get started and get going. So Mabel was very kind, and she said I could have all of the pressure canners that she has down in the basement. They all belong to Corky's mom. So Arthur, now I'm curious if any of those might be burpee canning.
Well, and that's part of the paying it forward, because the canners that we gave away, one of the gentlemen, he was an old timer in our community, our prepping circle and stuff. He passed away. Jerry passed away, and his wife was going to throw out all his prepping stuff. Well, we're friends with, actually Yoda's friends with his granddaughter, and they started talking, and she said, hey, I want you guys to have this. So we went and helped them clear out all their storage.
Well, I went the first time and helped to clear out the storage.
I went and helped too. So
you helped the second time in the garage.
And you stood around talking while I
That's
worked.
not true. I was like, that is not true.
So we ended up, Jerry had 5 of them? So we've got all these.
I think I got more than that.
We got all these pressure canners that we were gifted. So we're finding people that need them and handing them out.
Gifting them back. And the nice thing is I don't go chasing anybody for them. Usually we will get in a conversation, and as soon as I hear and I go, you know what, I got something for you. Hang on a second. And I do the same thing with our wool too. So, there was a spinner I ended up getting just all kinds of wool to, and she did great things. I think she's actually teaching the spinning class at camp for the
festival.
No, yeah, for the. I'm sorry, my brain is so yes.
You're fine. So that's our take on heritage.
Hey, our life.
Guys, go out and at least try it. At least learn about it. I mean, it's like I said, it's a skill you got to perfect. And there's dangers if you get to the point where you need it and you haven't been practicing it, you can. You should. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I got Pat posted. I haven't used my All-American in 7 years. Should I get it tested? Yes. I would. Does the All-American have the rubber gasket on it too?
No.
No, it's the Presto that has
it's the Presto that has that. So the Presto, you'll want to take the entire canner up, Pat, and go to the extension office. Call ahead if your extension office is far away, and then and if they say no, we don't test All-Americans, then then you'll need to find another extension office that does. Come to find out, our county, they do not test all Americans. They can only do Prestos and one other I've never heard of. So I don't know, but yeah, I'd call around and see if they could test them before you take them in. But yes, I would get it tested, especially if you haven't used it in 7 years.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's a rubber seal on the pressure valve, on the overpressure valve.
what are you talking about? On the All American?
Yeah,
Go get my All American. It's right here, and show me where there's any rubber on there.
No, it's there. I can see it from here.
If you're looking at the Presto,
look. Sorry, I just showed you my.
There is no.
I showed you my shirt. I did that on purpose. That was all planned.
There's no rubber on my All American. I don't know what he's talking about. There's not. So on the other one, on the Presto, there is. So the All American, you're just going with the weight on there, and
no, on the overpressure.
There is no overpressure valve on the All American.
Anyway, I'm not an expert on it anymore, so I'm going to defer.
There is an overpressure valve on the Presto.
Okay.
So I'll give you.
We pressure can. Our life says we pressure can with the Presto. We have to use my parents' canner. It was crazy using it at first for me.
It was scary using it the first
time. Oh, scary. I don't have my glasses on. But took long
to get over the fear. Yeah.
Yeah, once you get the basics of it down, it's dead simple.
T-Buddy likes his shirt. Good.
Excellent.
Let's see.
Which one? Remind me. Which one did you get, Teapot? Teapot was one of the ones that somebody didn't turn their phone.
I didn't even think about my phone. I don't have it right with me.
I'll get it. Keep talking. If it's tagged on your phone.
It's probably not. Nobody's got time for that. I don't think any of us are feeling well after the weekend.
It's Amber.
So just silence it, and I'll call her back. His and her. You got his and hers shirt? Oh, his and hers? You did a his and her shirt? Did you do a his and her shirt?
Well, I did the female shirts because you guys rode me because I did the unisex ones.
Oh, she may not have been able to find the designs. I don't know. So we've got. So you need to tell Teepa where we're at in production. Actually, you should have brought my phone with you because then I could have showed her. Yeah. So we got the first Mater Ferry is in completion. And so it's done, and now she's working on a second one. She's going to go ahead and get this one out and get that T-shirt up for you, Teepaw. Let me see.
This is a cool thing about community because we would not have thought of this idea had Teepaw not made a comment.
Well, and we wouldn't have had anybody to do it if we hadn't. And
Amber, God bless her soul, she volunteered without us even asking. She's like, I can draw that. And then she drew.
She said any excuse to color. That's why. So,
you got enough stuff on there?
These are all people that.
There it is.
Can I see if I can get it larger? See if I can get that in the camera. What do you think, Teepa?
That's Cletus the Mater Fairy.
And he's got. I don't know if you can see. He's got a little straw or something hanging out of his mouth. So. That's what we got. That's the first one. So he's done.
That's Cletus, and
Teepaw loves it.
The other one, her name is Maybelle. So we're gonna have a male and a female, and she looks more like a fairy. I wanted Cletus to look like a hillbilly.
Oh, Amber's gonna do another one for you. A girl that looks like a hillbilly.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Alpine strawberries. Usually,
bigger so you can send her some back.
I'm just gonna send her some seeds. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about the Homestead update, and we've talked about the heritage canning, and then we wanted to talk about the coming of fall. So I woke up this morning, and I walked out in the living room, and I was gonna yell at Angela. I was gonna yell at her because I thought she turned the AC on and left all the windows open, and then I realized it was 63 degrees outside.
I was sick and dying on the couch. Gave up my bedroom for him so that he did not get sick, and he was going to start yelling at me. This is what I live with.
That's right. I'm an ogre. I can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
But it got me thinking. Yesterday, actually, the last 3 days when I was working on the deck, it got super hot. Got super hot, and I was having to take breaks just because the sun was beating down. I don't know what it is this year. That the sun seems like it's been much hotter than normal.
Hang on just a second. Lucy, so yeah, I've never heard of the alpine strawberries either. So Starla, if you know if they're like if I could put them in a food forest, if I need to put them in a bed, I have plenty of space for how many you want to send me. So just whatever you think.
We're gonna
use
need
your judgment.
We're gonna need several hundred strawberry plants next. We've got 20 some trees that we need to plant strawberries underneath.
All right. Well, you heard G.
And we haven't gotten.
She said. I think she said that's all she's got. Oh, she's got hundreds. Okay, so I just send us as much as you can.
And we haven't gotten garlic to plant this fall because it's time.
I've got garlic.
You got garlic to plant?
I've got garlic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's out in the greenhouse.
Well, and that was one of the things about coming the fall is we've got 2 pear trees that are overloaded with pears that we're not going to be able to pick. We're going to have to call some people and tell them if they want pears to come pick them because they're going to go bad. We got apples that need to be picked. We got garlic that needs to be planted now. And
ooh, I love sweet. I'm excited about that. Good, yummy. That'd make good jellies. Ooh, that'd make a good wine
yes,
too.
it would. Yes, it would.
Okay, lots of alpine strawberry seeds.
Oh, and Deb, I agree with you. After the heat this summer. And it wasn't as hot as it's been, but it just, like I said, it's like the sun was more intense this year than it has been. So there's the fall garden to plant, and we're so behind on that. It's not even funny.
Oh, look at that. We just got, so that's what Amber wanted to know. Do we want raspberries? Yes.
Do we want? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So there's just all the projects that we need to get done before winter and bad weather starts in. Got to get the turkey tractor. I've got to finish this deck in the next day or two, and I got to get the turkey tractor done by the end of the weekend so that we can get these turkeys out and get them on the pasture and get them growing. When are they going to be ready to harvest?
Who? What?
The turkeys.
Oh no, not those are heritage. Those won't be ready
till
next year. I did get some double-breasted, but they also won't be ready till next year.
Till next spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got to overwinter.
And that just depends on how. Oh, they'll be fine. We just got to put in like a little room, like Patty and Darren did over at Hacks for the Homestead. We just got to get that.
Put them back in the coop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we maybe invest in that little heater if we need it. So, though we found a propane heater that won't catch fire if it falls, and so that's what we were thinking for all of them.
They've got the geese are already starting to migrate. Sky rats. It's almost that time of year.
It's almost that time of year.
But so there's the fall garden. We got the cooler weather. Remember to go get your flues checked on your wood stoves. Have somebody clean it. Have somebody get up there and make sure it's not all encrusted in creosote. And now's the time you want to start thinking about firing up the wood stove. I need to get up on the roof and do that.
Somebody with coffee bean seeds.
We can't grow coffee here.
We could in Missouri. How come we can't here?
You can't grow coffee in Missouri.
What was the coffee tree that we had?
No, that was a Kentucky coffee tree.
Oh, okay.
So at the old place, we had a tree right next to the driveway that I planted, and it was called a Kentucky coffee tree, and it was a tree that the settlers used as a substitute for coffee, and it was a form of chicory, is what it was, and but we need to plant some here too for people that drink coffee. Mm-hmm. I never touched the stuff.
I wonder, could I do that? How big do those get? Is that something I could do in the greenhouse? The coffee trees? I wonder if I couldn't do that in the greenhouse.
There you go, Lucy. Lucy just butchered 25 Cornish chickens and has 29 turkeys to do. Okay. Nice. You guys want to hear my turkey story about the first time I ever butchered a turkey? This is the first time I've told this online. So the first year we had turkeys, we ended up with 10 of them, and I butchered a couple of them. But the very first turkey I butchered, I wasn't quite sure how to do it. So naturally, I got on YouTube, and I was like, okay, butchering turkey. And I found a guy.
Was that part of the 10, or was that the one that I got from Angie and David?
No, that's part of the 10. was the very first one out of that
But
batch.
you butchered Angie and Dave's.
But I don't know. I all I know is the first turkey. But so this guy says you take a feed sack and cut the corner out because the turkey was way too big to go on a killing cone that we had for the
Starla,
chickens.
then yes.
So
Please.
so I'm like, I can do this. We've got feed sacks. So I put this turkey inside. I pull its head out. It's nice and calm. Well, what the guy neglected to say in his video was don't use a paper feed sack. So when I went to butcher the turkey, it freaked out, and turkeys are very strong, and it shredded that paper feed sack. So here I am, this turkey's flapping its wings and making a god awful noise. It hit me in the eye and gave me a black eye. It's spurting blood all over me, and I'm like laying on it to try just to keep it from getting away. And I finally was able to put it down, but I felt so bad after I was done because that's not the way I want to do. But I came in to tell Angela what happened, and she started laughing at me because I literally had blood speckled all over me, and I was white as a sheet from the ordeal of dealing with that turkey. So if you're gonna do it, make sure you know how to do it the first time properly, or else you're gonna get traumatized like I did.
Well, I learned.
Yes, at least we weren't starving.
Mm-hmm. We ate it.
And we did.
And it tasted great. Nobody complained. In fact, everybody said, farm raised turkey is better than any store bought turkey.
Yeah, Arthur, it's definitely different. It's a much larger scale than chickens, that's for sure.
Yeah, who knew that they could break?
Well, and I'm, you know what? I got traumatized doing chickens too. So my buddy called. It was December. Gosh, it was like December 28th.
Get out of here! 80 pounds.
Holy moly!
We've gotten 30-pound birds. I've never
37. That one dressed out at 37.
Did it?
Yeah, they dressed out at 37.
I couldn't imagine an 80-pound bird.
Right. My buddy calls me and says, "Hey, my brother-in-law's got 21 chickens that need to be butchered," and he let them go. They were 16 weeks old, so they were big and huge. So we go over and he's like, "Hey, we've got all these people that are going to come and help. We'll do it at your place. We'll split the turkey or the chickens up. It'll all be good." Well, the morning we wake up to do it, it's sleeting. It's the coldest day of the year. It was like 4 degrees.
Well, just half the breast weighed 22 pounds.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Oh goodness.
So naturally it's sleeting, nobody shows up. So we go to butcher these chickens, and it was so cold I couldn't keep the temperature on the water bath at a constant temperature. So it was going up and down. So it was either too cold and I couldn't pluck the feathers out, or it was too hot and it was poaching the skin. And we finally got it done. And the next morning I went out to clean up, and my buddy was in charge of killing the chickens, and he left one of them in the cone. And so we had a chicken sickle that I had to deal with. And how long was it before I butchered chickens again? Like a year almost? Maybe a little bit longer than that.
I don't think so.
But that was not a good experience.
I usually don't let you get away with anything for too long.
I had frozen feathers all over me, and there was just stuff all over the place. It was terrible. It was a bad experience. That's why that video we did last spring about going up to the Hack's place and doing the chickens, that was such a good experience.
Uda Lupe, that's awesome. I'm glad you went over there and joined. So anybody, if you haven't been over to freesteaders.com, is freesteading.com, please go over there and make sure that you sign up. And then when you sign up, you want to go over to Grumpy Acres Farm, and you'll want to, join community.
Yeah, join
and then you'll go into the community, and that's how you connect directly with us. And then
Go join other people's communities too.
You can do the same with all 8 of the leaders in there. And then Sherry, that's awesome that you guys are getting that canning going. Good for you with the peaches. You said you missed part of it, so I've been canning peaches also this week, and so I did Drunken Peaches, and I also did regular peaches. He suggested, but I did get the Drunken Peaches done. So, and that's super simple. Just can your peaches the regular way, and then add 1 to 2 tablespoons of a good bourbon. And I use the
JW Dant, bottled and
JW
bond.
Dant. Yeah, it's bottled in bond, so it's like a $60 bottle, but you only pay $15 for it. So it works really well. Hacks, you're crazy, girl. There's no way that I would want them pecking at me. They'll break your nose too. Um,
Lucy says, I have a female turkey I kept from days old. Susie is 2 years. Oh, Susie is uh, 2 years old and has laid me an egg every day for the last 4 months. Excellent. I'm hoping to keep a tom from the ones I'm going to butcher for breeding.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Good job.
That's a great idea.
So we've all had that conversation as well, and so there's several that are going to be keeping either 2 toms and two hens. We may actually do a few more. That's one of the reasons why I brought the heritage on, because I want to make sure that we have plenty of toms, plenty of females, and also the same with our chickens. And I did bring in some fry pan chickens. I still to this day have no idea what they are. They're a combination of 4. And they're not growing as fast as Cornish hens, so I know that they're not that. They're not Cornish cross.
They got to be a dual purpose bird.
And but they specifically call them fry pan, and so I'm excited about those. See what I've got in there, and keep those going because there's no guarantee we're going to get chickens next year. Just letting you know.
Sherry, that Woodford is a really good bourbon, but here's my challenge to any bourbon drinker out there: find a bottle of JW Dant bottled and bond, which is bottled and bond is a legal term, and it specifies in a barrel. It specifies it's single batch. There's a couple other things, but it's an actual legal term. And do a blind taste test with that JW Dant bottled and bond, which costs $16. Well, up until recently, I don't know what it costs now.
It was 15, I think.
But it cost with the discount, with the bulk discount.
Oh yeah, I get bulk discount in the military because we keep it in our stash.
It's a $16 bottle of bourbon, and go out and buy a couple of $35 bottle bourbons and do a blind taste test. Guarantee you people will not be able to tell the difference between the three.
In fact, we did a taste test, and JW Dant won hands down with people that are bourbon connoisseurs, and so that was pretty neat.
Thank you, T-Paw. We keep forgetting to say that.
That's what, yeah. So super exciting, and then everybody's getting going. I love it.
Oh, Lucy's getting pigs too. I hope we can get pigs next spring. That's it's one of the things
it was on our goal for this fall.
Yeah, but we didn't meet a lot of our goals this year.
Wow.
This place turned out to be a much bigger hill to climb than what we thought. And I was thinking about that today. We're almost due for a year update when we compare what it was like before and what it's like now.
Yeah, we've got a lot done. We just had more on our schedule than what we wanted.
Probably Arthur, because it's an inexpensive one, but it can run with the big dogs.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Four Roses person myself. Four Roses single batch. That's, in my book, that's some of the best there is out there. But
the Jack Daniel's Black, is that right?
Black
13,
Label. Black
yeah.
Label. Jack Daniel's just reminds me of college too much. Early days. But so anyway, getting back to fall coming. You know, here's something. There's a lot of festivals coming up.
Yes, Sherry, you can do it with your apples. That actually sounds delicious, and
Drunken
I may have
apples.
to do that myself.
Well, bourbon goes good with anything.
You just do it the same way.
But there's a whole bunch of festivals coming up. I mean, we've got the Back to the Land Festival, and like we said, we're gonna be there. We've got our Midwest Preparedness Festival. If you live down in southern Missouri, on October 1st, Ozark Preparedness is doing a one-day expo at someplace in Fort Scott. I don't know the venue because I haven't been able to find it. But when we were at Hannibal, we were talking to one of the guys that was coordinating it. Mm-hmm. Then we've got the SOE Festival in Camden, Tennessee. There's another one that I found out about that's in Eastern Tennessee the very same weekend as that one. And I can't remember.
I think, didn't Nicole say it was like right down the road or something too? So you could actually hit both. Yeah.
And then, you know, there's some coming up in the end of October. And then you've got all your community festivals, all your fall festivals, you know, they're loaded with pumpkin spice and wreaths. That's that's what they're living. That's what everybody does. Pumpkin spice. I don't know why everybody gets turned on by pumpkin spice. You can get it year round. You know.
Something wrong with you.
But-
Yeah, so then after that, then we've got the back to the land. We will be there. Like we said, we'll have the vendor booth set up, and that's all in the works. And so we've already got that done. And we've got a kick butt place to stay.
Yeah, we do.
And so it's going to be a party all weekend long.
No, it's not. We're gonna
It's
be
not?
we're gonna be well behaved.
That's
SG,
not what
here,
Billy
SG
said.
wants to know. She wants to smoke a turkey. What's a good way to practice? Buy
But-
2 of them.
Yeah, just do it. Turkey is easy to, well, I say it's easy, but we've been smoking for a long time. Just make sure that you season it real well with what you like, and then keep your box together. Maybe you should just do one.
Do we have one?
There's a turkey in the
Is
freezer.
there?
Why don't you just do a video on that?
It is getting smoking
It's getting
time.
smoking time.
It's been
so-
I smoked this summer and it was just too dang hot.
Yeah, because we didn't really do one on the fish
Uh,
like we were going to. We didn't do that. So, I'm smoking fish.
no, we
is-
did the stuff for the canned seafood.
Yeah, but you didn't really show how to
Oh.
smoke it and that kind of thing. And I think that's how that first came up about learning how to smoke. And somebody was supposed to send me what what kind of grill they had, and then I was going to
That's right.
have
I
you
don't
walk
remember who
them
that
through it.
was.
And so, so why don't you just do that on
Hey,
the turkey?
Arkansas,
If you did that on the turkey, then you could get that done.
we will do it. We will do a video on smoking a turkey.
Yeah, but if you're wanting to know right now, then a great way to do it to just kind of learn. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff on YouTube about that, especially if you're, probably get a lot from Kansas City area and even I would say Tennessee area, North Carolina, that kind of thing. I would definitely start there. Just kind of get an idea, and then it's practice, practice, practice.
Starla, you go. So they can fix broken clavicle. Oh my gosh. What are you doing to that man?
My goodness.
Starla, you have a good evening. You have a blessed week, like Teapot says. Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Take care of yourself. Take care of that.
We'll be praying for you, Starla. And I did not miss your prayer request last week. Just like I said, I've not been feeling well, so I did catch you. I just didn't catch you online.
Parsons Road Homestead from Georgia, checking in. Thanks
Nice.
for popping in, man.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's. So after the back to the land, then we come back, and then we'll be at the Midwest Preparedness Festival, and then hopefully we can take a break for the fall, get our house in order as far as another bedroom, a sewing room, a bathroom, and a processing kitchen.
It's a 5-year.
and-
It's a 5-year plan.
It's got to be. It's got to be faster than that. And
No, the things for the house for the fall is we got to get the second bathroom done, and then
Oh, he rolled a semi truck. That's how he broke his
Oh, no.
clavicle. It just hasn't healed.
we
Jeez.
did we need to get the bathroom done, and we need to get concrete poured for the pantry. There's an old garage on the end of the house that we're going to turn into a pantry, so we have to get that done before it gets too cold.
Mhm. Yeah. Came in and talk at the end of the bourbon.
Best part of the
talk.
conversation
I have
there,
to go back and
Parsons
listen.
Road. Best part of the
We
conversation.
were talking about canning with bourbon and then what kind of bourbon was best. And JW Dant seems to win hands down to a lot of the higher top labels. But so there was just a discussion on that.
Yeah.
But so anyway, after Midwest Preparedness Festival, we can hopefully take a little bit of break from that stuff. Of course, unless, Spags twists our arm for a Prepper Expo and makes us go out for that. So probably do that. Never miss a chance.
What she's talking about, Spags and I were talking after they went out to
Spags Unfiltered.
yeah,
Make sure you
Spags
check out his
Unfiltered.
channel.
They went out to a Prepper Expo in Kiowa, Colorado, which is on the Front Range down by Colorado Springs.
Mhm.
And was it Colorado Springs?
I think so.
Anyway, so we were talking after he came back, and he wanted to get all the people in Kansas together and have us all go to these local, I'd say local, but these festivals and expos that are within driving distance, have us go down there en masse and show everybody what we were doing and spread the message of homesteading and searching for freedom. So that's part of the plan. is to find these expos that are within driving distance and going out and making day trips or maybe an overnight trip if we can swing it financially.
Well, that's the whole idea of doing vendor booths is so that
Well,
we
and,
can.
yeah, and we're going to start doing the vendor booths. That's one reason.
He's not a salesperson, so he doesn't understand these
Look,
things.
I should not have to talk you into buying my stuff. It should be completely obvious why you want it.
You don't talk them into it. You take it to them, and then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They should already know. I should not have to do anything.
Anyway.
This is why I'm not an independent consultant.
Caramelized French onion soup with Christian Brothers brandy. Get out.
That sounds good.
10 by 10 cabin with a wood. So
see,
nothing to have a bedroom. It's all bedroom.
and you complain because I give you so much space.
Lucy, don't give him any excuses because he literally, the whole reason why we made the move that we made, I did for him. And when we looked at this property, the only reason why we chose this property is because he promised that what happened in Pleasant Hill would not happen here. And it's happening all over again.
What happened in Pleasant Hill?
The procrastination of getting the house done. We sold the house and it didn't have quarter round in it. The quarter round was there. We left the quarter round, but there was no quarter round.
Do you have quarter round? Do you have trim in all the rooms that are good here?
No.
Yes, you do.
All the rooms that are good. Go look in my bedroom.
I put quarter round down in there.
When
I finish the trim.
I'll have to go look at it.
This is what I have to deal with.
I'm sick. And
I don't get credit for when credit's due.
I'm sick and my brain's not working. I get that excuse, but I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna look at my pressure canner.
Sherry's got the cough medicine that you make. That's the same recipe you use.
Honey, little lemon. We have the best cough medicine. No, actually, I use more. So I do. That's a basic, but so Sherry, I actually add in a little bit of cayenne pepper. Yeah. And then that would be, and sometimes depending on how bad it is, if I feel like there's some chest congestion in there, then I'll even add in some turmeric into it and then just shake it up. And actually, I've given a couple of those out and everybody swears by it. So
it's a hard time to keep from drinking it because it tastes so good.
I've heard that.
It does work though. The cayenne clears your congestion up in your nose, and the bourbon and honey.
Teapot, you said you did, and it hasn't come. And so I checked with the post office because it was really bothering me that I had seen that and you asked me about it, and it was never there. So I did ask the girl at the post office last week, and she said that if you had a tracking number, then she can look at the tracking number and see exactly where it went. So, but no, I haven't gotten them. But I thought you sent some too, and I haven't seen them.
Better late than never.
Oh, did I send you recipes? No, I never got that email either. Did those recipes ever come in? No, those didn't come in. So that's the real grumpy acres at gmail.com. You can send them there. So, or you
Cindy, you're lucky. I didn't forget to turn the live chat replay on, so you'll be able to see what everybody was talking about. Oh, she's typing in that thing. Oh, Arthur, old crow. Man, that's about all it's good for.
Coffee?
No, medicinal purposes.
My grandpa used to put that in his coffee all the time. You could smell it all the time. But
she is typing the email in right now.
One-handed, so bear with me.
She's pecking away.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, if you guys want to email us, I mean, just anything, any ideas that you want or any questions, feel free to ask. I mean, that's one of the things
Eva said she emailed it. So
I'm sorry, I did not.
Somebody was saying something about seeds, I thought too, and I thought for sure somebody said that they mailed something here and did not. And maybe I got confused. Maybe I saw mailed and she meant emailed.
Oh,
maybe that's what.
I'll go back and check.
Okay.
I didn't see anything. I was just cleaning out the mailbox today. But oh my gosh, this cat's purring away.
What did you clean out of there? Because our tickets for Back to the Land.
It's there. The tickets are there.
Okay.
The tickets are there.
And the conversation I had with the guy from the credit card thing is still there, right?
There wasn't anything on.
Yeah, there was.
I'll go check.
Don't empty stuff out. Let me take care of that.
You never check it.
Yes, I do.
Okay. But alrighty. Well, we are it's nearing the end of our time. We've been at this for over an hour.
Yeah. So unless you guys have any questions for us real quick, then we'll probably go ahead and cut it short.
We really do appreciate you guys showing up.
Mhm.
We do this, we enjoy interacting with you, and quite frankly, these are more fun to do than filming the videos, because we just get to go. Both of us like talking.
Cindy Dame, their done is never exactly like our done. It just is what it is. I think that's part of homesteading. That should be a T-shirt. His done is not exactly my done.
His done is not her done.
Right. So, with bourbon and peppermint. Yeah. So I with those, I bought a lot of the old fashioned candy, and so I can do cinnamon and lemon and peppermint and all kinds of stuff in there. So I've got all of those going on. Author Leslie, are you from Montgomery, Alabama? Arthur, are you from Montgomery, Alabama? I'll take care of myself, Arthur. I just get to the point where I just feel like I can't quit sometimes, and I need to learn to slow down.
She was out smoking a cigarette this afternoon.
I hadn't smoked in 2.5 days.
Jumper case, guys. Write her about doing it.
It would have been 2.5 days. Go back to watch.
What were the canning lids we got?
The depends which canning lids.
The new ones.
Oh, at Hannibal.
Yeah.
Those were the 4 jars.
4 jars.
FORJARS. 4 jars. So let's see.
You can get them on Amazon, Pat.
Don't get them on Amazon, Pat. Is it Pat asking? No, let me get you their email. Order directly from them. They're a like-minded community. Please don't order them from Amazon. Order them directly from them. You'll get the same promotions. So when Amazon tells you that they're cheaper, BS. That just means that they're ripping off the people that are selling them on there. And we know because we looked into it. So,
well, T-Paw, if you're at the Back to the Land Festival, you'll see us because we'll be there, hawking our wares, wearing our shirts.
Is she talking about going?
Well, she said she's gonna be in Tennessee.
Nice. Yeah, stop by.
Knock it off.
All right, guys. Well,
What?
I think I'm ready. I'm
I do this by myself. She demanded.
I'm sorry. I just need some cold water, I think. And
We may have just had a little hiccup.
why?
Okay, guys, listen. Go ahead and hit the notification if you want to see more of these. Go over to freesteading.com. I'm supposed to do a video telling everybody why we're over there, so I'll see if I can't get that done sometime this week. And hopefully, if somebody's feeling better, she'll be there to tell us why she's there.
You know, I'll do it anyway, even if I'm not feeling better.
And most importantly,
go live a life done free.
Go live a life done free, guys.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, have a blessed week.
I'm ready for bed, actually.